Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. As always, thank you for joining me. If you could, hit the subscribe button down below and let's get right to it. Now, a few weeks ago, I watched a video entitled Food Riots, Food Stamps Stop in February, Delayed Tax Returns. Have you seen the news? And it was from a channel called Kansas Prepper. They have roughly 2,000 subscribers. This video had done really good, did about 47,000 views. And I thought the guy was crazy. I thought the person there was absolutely insane, especially making the claim that food stamps will end in February. I even left a comment saying food stamps is not ending next month. That's crazy. Well, Kansas Prepper, if you happen to come across this video, I apologize. I was wrong. You were right. Now, no matter what the take was on that video, it's not what's important here. What's important is admitting that I was incorrect. Because I'd seen shutdowns in the past, especially shutdowns back when I received food stamps, that never affected my food stamps. It has now come out, though, that as of February, the federal government will not be sending money to the states for the SNAP program. As of February 1st. Down here in Texas, they found a way around it, at least for February. They're going to go ahead and send out the money early. They're going to send it out in January. And nobody in Texas will be getting their food stamps in February. They'll be getting them January for February. And if by the end of February, the shutdown is not over, we will be having the same problem. Except Texas won't have the money to make up for it. Now, why is this happening? Whose fault is it? What kind of problem is it? Is it a problem? Well, let me answer you a few of those questions. Whose fault is it? Is Donald J. Trump. The man is willing to starve American families and children. To what end? To get a stupid wall that they will just tunnel over, or tunnel under, fly over, and walk around. He wants to starve millions of Americans, most who were working full-time jobs, and still can't afford to put money on the table or food on the table because they don't make enough money. All for a stupid wall. Now, my family, my wife and I, we're on food stamps. We spent about I think it was about a good 4 years on food stamps. And the moment she got a job, we were no longer eligible. So we're no longer on them. So does it affect me directly? No. But it's a completely morally bankrupt thing to do. But is this surprising that Donald Trump is morally bankrupt? Not only has he bankrupted his businesses, he's morally bankrupt himself. Always has been, always will be. All you have to do is look at the fact that he's cheated on all 3 of his wives. A moral person doesn't do that. I mean, I understand that you can, you know, it happens. You know, you get married and it happens. But then to do it every single time you get married, what's the point of getting married, dude? Now, what kind of problems could this cause? It could actually have lasting effects. 1, if kids aren't able to eat, they don't grow right. They just don't grow properly. If they don't eat right, their grades suffer at school. Their attendance goes down. Their ability to partake in extracurricular activities at school, i.e., sports, choir even, those are impacted. The biggest impacts are going to be felt by America's children. And then, what about the women that are, say, pregnant women, for example? If they don't eat, if they don't get the proper nutrition they need, then the child that they are carrying will suffer. It'll be malnourished. If the woman's not getting the proper nutrition, anything could happen. I thought conservatives cared about the life of children and the unborn. Now, you notice I don't mention the men. And there's no reason that I don't. I haven't said much about them. But at the end of the day, adults that are not carrying a child generally can find a way. My issue are the children. My issue is the fact that Donald Trump is willing to starve American children to build a wall. Let me repeat that. Donald Trump is willing to starve American children to build his little wall. So yes, it is a major problem. It is a major issue. And this is going to affect millions of Americans across this country. And as Bo of the Fifth Column over there mentioned on his channel the other day, the possibility of food riots or people getting angry when they can't eat, taking to the streets, is a real possibility. It wouldn't be the first time that people turned on this government because they could not eat. It's happened in countries across the globe. But does Donald Trump care about the plight of the everyday American? The plight of the mom and dad who are working 40 hours a week at roughly minimum wage or a little above, and they have multiple children? And what about those furloughed workers? One thing Donald Trump and his group of cronies has said is, oh, well, since they're furloughed, they can apply for food stamps. One, it takes a while to get food stamps, especially when you have an income. And two, if food stamps is being cut off in February because the states aren't getting the money anymore, then how in the hell can they get food stamps, you dumb shit? I am completely at a loss for this president and this administration. This is the most corrupt and most vile administration in my 39 years of life. I was born in 79 at the end of probably one of the nicest presidents in the history of this country, Jimmy Carter. Grew up during the Reagan years. Became politically aware in the Clinton years. Went through George Bush, who lied us into a war. Went through with everything with Barack Obama. And if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. But nothing I have seen compares to the vile nature of this White House. They are immoral. They are completely morally bankrupt. And don't be surprised Mr. Trump, if this shutdown cost you your election. Because I really thought you were going to get reelected for sure in 2020. Now I think I could run my cat and he would beat you. This video is running a little longer than some of my other videos, but it's just something that has to be said. It saddens me to know that there are people out there supporting this president, supporting this wall, when not supporting their own Americans. You say Americans first. You say take care of Americans before you take care of immigrants. Take care of Americans before you take care of asylum seekers. Well, where are you now? When millions of American families are going to go without food starting in February. Some states will be able to push it off till March, like Texas here, by giving people their money early. Many states aren't in a situation where they can do that. Texas is able to do that because of our rainy day fund and some, oil. Texas is in a good spot with some of our economic stuff. So we're able to do that. But some states are not in that situation. And the people in those states are going to suffer. So once again, I apologize to Kansas Prepper. I truly did not believe that food stamps would have any chance of ending. And now I find out that you were absolutely 100% right. But anyhow, this has been the Big Rant Show. I've been your host, Jacob Keck, and I'll see you down the road.